Welcome to Realty Talk, where we talk real about real estate. No hype, no selling, just facts. My name is Frank Rodriguez, the manager here at Casa Bella Realty Group. And our goal is to bring you transparent and useful information you can use when making your real estate decisions. Today's topic, we're going to review something that a lot of people have on their mind, which is what is the actual cost of going through a probate? Now, as a real estate company here in LA County, serving the Southern California area, we don't advocate for one or another, meaning going through probate or having a living trust, though we make recommendations. And I believe, the more information you gather, especially when it comes to a financial aspect, you're able to make clear decisions that benefit you and your estate along with your beneficiaries. So today we'll review the cost of having to go through a probate. Now, as we mentioned before, if you create a will, your estate will still go through a probate. The benefit there is that there's more organization, your wishes will be better respected, and you can designate your estate to the beneficiaries you choose. Now, if you choose not to create a will, your estate will also go through a probate, though a little bit more chaotic, and the state of California, where this video is being recorded, will designate the hierarchy of the beneficiaries, and you'll have very little choice in the matter. Now, to avoid probate altogether is to create a trust, a living trust. Now, again, we don't advocate one or the other because it's a very personal decision, though understanding the cost of not creating a living trust and allowing your estate to go through a probate, hopefully, as you decide what to do and understanding the numbers behind those decisions, you'll make the right decision for you and your estate. So let's take a moment here and look at the numbers of the actual cost, and this way you can decide for yourself. And as we review these numbers, one thing to keep in mind, these numbers are pertaining to attorney fees, and then we'll review some additional fees, though what it won't include are any filing fees, court fees, bond fees, because I want to keep it more on the general scheme of the values that we're going to review. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, if you'd like to know those specific fees, put in a comment, and I'll make sure that someone from my team in the probate division reaches out to you with those specific fees per county. Okay, now let's start with the formula. As you can see, it's 4, 3, 2, 1. Just remember that's a countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1. That should help with the memory aid. And the way it works here in California, at least, is 4% of the first 100,000 of the value of the estate. Okay, the total value. So 4% of the first 100,000. Then it drops down to 3% of the second 100% value. So if we were to stop the video now and just came up with the calculation for this, we would have 4% of this, 3% of this would give us, in this case, 4,000 plus 3,000 will be 7,000. Just kind of warm up to the numbers, right? Now, the next 800,000 would be 2%. Okay, and the 800,000 of the total estate value, and then we go to 1% of the next up to 15 million of the estate. Okay, so let's take a look. And when we talk about values, I can do a different video on values. If you put something in the comment, I'll make sure I put that together for you. Though, retirement accounts, certain accounts where you name a beneficiary most likely won't have to go through this process, which would be good. So it won't add to this value. In most cases, as we're going to look here at the next page as an example, in most cases, this would be when real estate's involved, personal belongings, maybe certain accounts that a named beneficiary wasn't on the account. So the example I'm using here, and I'm using this example here in Southern California. If you live elsewhere where property values may be a little less, I think that's fine, though you can come up with your own math now that you understand or appreciate the formulas, right? So the estate value in this example is 3.5 million. Now, this can be an estate that owns maybe one up to two properties, or even possibly even three, right? But in most cases, it'll probably be two properties, right? Here in Southern California. And breaking down the numbers, for the first 100,000 of that 3.5 million estate value, it's $4,000. The second 100,000 of that 3.5 million estate value would be 3,000, and that was where on the previous sheet we stopped to give you a preview of it. Now in this case, it doesn't stop; it continues because this covers only 200,000 of the 3.5 million. So we continue with the formula. Now the next 800,000. It's 16,000. Again, using the formula, we're at the 3%. We're at the 2%, right? So we're at 4, 3, and then 2%. So 800,000 times 2%, 16,000. Now, we have here 100,000, 100,000 plus 800,000 gives us 1 million even. Our estate value is 3.5 million. So we have a remaining estate value of 2.5 million. Now, this here is within that 15 million, which is the 1%. So in this case, 2.5 million remaining estate value times the 1% equals $25,000. So this would be the subtotal, which is 48,000. And the reason we say subtotal, because a probate attorney, this is what a probate attorney would be paid to handle a probate. Again, not including those additional miscellaneous fees that I mentioned earlier. And this is not so much what the attorney says. This is set by the court system, the probate system. So it would be 48,000. And on top of that, the personal representative is entitled to the same amount, the same formula. So if the personal representative in this case collects the fee, would be an additional 48,000. So you have a probate attorney and you have a personal representative. And if you've kept up with these videos, it's not an easy task. Some family members may waive the fee if they're the beneficiary as well as the personal representative. I sometimes recommend, if a family member is going to step up to do this kind of work, that they collect the fee. It's only fair. It's about a year or more, a year to a year and a half of work and involvement, engagement, meeting with the attorney, going to the court, filing paperwork. So it's only fair that one of the beneficiaries, if they're named as the PR, that they collect the fee. Now, again, some do waive the fee, though if it's a third-party personal representative, which can be named in a will, then most likely they won't waive the fee, because this is what they do as a living, or the deceased asked them a favor and they're professional, and they're going to take time out of their work schedule to facilitate being a PR for the rest of the estate, and they're going to make sure that things get done correctly, working hand in hand with the probate attorney. So in most cases, they won't waive the fee, right? And rightfully so. So total would be, in this example of an estate of 3.5 million, would be 96,000 just in these two rows. Again, not including other miscellaneous fees, not including any potential tax, any of that. So as you can see, for the beneficiaries, not only is it a longer process to get through this probate process, it's costlier, $96,000. Now, to avoid this is having a living trust. Again, as a company, we don't make any additional revenue for saying that or working with our affiliate attorneys when you decide to create a living trust. For full transparency, there's no revenue to us, though we do believe that having a living trust to avoid the cost, additional cost, as well as the longer process and more of a challenge for the estate going through a probate. To avoid all that, it may be worth it. Okay, so I hope today's video was helpful in fully appreciating the actual cost, as well as having a better understanding of the formula that's used, set by the probate courts. All right, catch us on the next video. And as always, subscribe to help us put more videos out. And if you think this can be helpful to someone you may know, please forward the video to them. All right. Thank you.